They pray that the precious Lord would take their hand, lead them on, help them stand. I am Selena Lachelle Queen. Some of you already knew that. Today we are at the Imani Day, the last day of Kwanzaa, but the first day of celebrating Kwanzaa throughout the year. I'm representing Word Seek Inc. today. I'm the founder and president, and today we have our Kwanzaa table set up. We have our drummers over to my right. We have books, because we're a literary arts organization, to give to our children, and some other gifts for the adults as well. We are so blessed to be in this space tonight. Kwanzaa is critically important to our community. We know that the words that were chosen for this are critical to our cultural growth, to our spiritual growth, and to our community growth. And so Word Seed being a celebration of words, a community of words, we take those words very seriously. We know that words are our prayers, our affirmations, our names. And so we thank everyone who came here today and throughout the whole week, and all the organizations who celebrated Kwanzaa with us. We give you our deepest bow. We are so appreciative. And the most important thing that I want you to know about Word Seed and Kwanzaa together is that community is critically important, and we will always do things that are in the best interest of our community. Peace and blessings, family. Enjoy the program.
Habargani. So for anyone who's new to Kwanzaa, right, Habargani is the greeting that takes place throughout Kwanzaa, and throughout the year too, but more so around Kwanzaa, and it means what's the word. It's asking you what's the word. So when you hear Habargani during those 7 days, your response will be that principle for the day, okay? So when we say Habargani, you're going to say Imani Habargani, okay, and that means faith. Queen talked about tradition, and part of our tradition as African people is to always ask permission to speak, right? And we've been learning, as she said, throughout the week, and most of us know this already. We come from families where when you have seniors, and we call them elders in the room, it's your job to acknowledge those elders, okay? So I like to ask 2 elders for permission, if I may, to continue to speak. And for once, guess what? We're not going to ask Sister Queen, Mother, Sister Wahida, right? She's so used to us asking her because she's at everything, right? But today I want to ask Queen Mother, Miss McDaniel, the founder of New Family, and my dad, William Smallwood Sr., if it's okay if I continue to speak.
Yes.
And I've been given permission from our elders, our Babas, and our Queen Mother Nanas to give permission to continue the program. Now, the reason we do that is because if we have not mastered whatever it is we're doing that day, or studied enough, right, it's our job to ask the Queen Mother, Queen Father, or the elders, what do we need to do to continue to speak and to be in front of the community to run a program or an event. So I've been given permission, so I think I've been doing, as Queen said, a good job. And I think in terms of Chief Moody, we say Ashe. And that just means it is. Jimmy Richardson, another one of our historian and elders. You know, we always ask permission from them, who are our teachers, before we even get to this space to continue. So they've given me permission, but now we ask in front of us for permission. All right. One of the things that we do doing any time we come together as African people is we have what we call libation and honoring our ancestors, right? And that's the connection that we have with the ancestors. The ancestors being local and being far. Local being here in this space that we're in, and far being on the continent of Africa, where we are the civilized people of the world, right? So when we do libation, it's a call and response. And as Queen said, being here in historical Calvary Baptist Church, there's no better place for a call and response. If you walked in Calvary, as walking past on the wall, it says spiritual leaders, right? We saw Reverend Rowe and all these spiritual leaders and teachers that came before him up until present, Reverend Lassiter, Pastor Reverend Lassiter. And all of these are individuals who set the foundation, who transition, and the way we honor our ancestors is to honor the fact that they've transitioned, that they've left the foundation of work, and we stand on their shoulders and follow their footsteps, right? But more importantly, they are still in this space. They're still in this room. That's why we call them ancestors. I want to quickly show you something, if I may. bathroom to wash my hands and to prepare and to do a little prayer, and I saw this picture. Can everyone see it? It's a picture of a male, African-American male, I'm going to say he's a young brother, reaching out, shaking a sister's hand. And behind him are angels, right? How do you know they're angels? Because he has wings behind him. And the sister has her backpack and her skateboard on her side, right? So why am I sharing this with you? I'm talking about ancestors, and I'm talking about doing libation, and the Creator, whatever we call the Creator, and the ancestors blessed this for me. Gave me this mission, but more importantly, gave me this vision to say, you're on point, right? And that's key to anything that we do. We're going to always get that message. We just got to follow suit. The ancestors and the Creator is always going to give us our walking papers, our walking instructions. We just got to follow it, okay? So what I'm asking everybody to do today is to participate in this call and response, knowing that it's an ancestral process that's going to walk us through the rest of what we do the remainder of this day and throughout our lives. Okay, everyone please stand up if you can. If you can't, don't worry about it. And when you stand up, what I'm going to ask you to do is to take your right hand, if possible, if not your right hand, your left hand, and hold it as high as you can with your fingers spread wide, right? Some people say the fingers represent us reaching up to the ancestors as well as the Creator. Some people, I'm one of those people that say it represents all the various organizations we represent, the places that we come from, whether Patterson or outside of Patterson. It represents our thoughts, our actions, and organizations. It represents everything about us as a people. However, there are times when we're separated. But when we bring this hand down and close it as a fist and touch our chest, we become one person, one people, one power. We become emoji, unity. So what I want us to do today is, as I read the sentence, we're going to have Autumn. Come on up, Autumn. You can put your hand down for now. Can we say Asante Sana to Autumn? And that means thank you. Okay, here you go, Autumn. Not yet. Come stand here. Autumn's ready. She's ready to dip already. You're going to face the family, face the community, hold a cup, and I'm going to tell you when, okay? Each time I tell you yes, you're going to put just a little bit of water, okay? All right. All right. Okay, let's stand. Get that hand up. Get that power up. Make sure it's up high because we're touching the Creator, right? When we get to the last, I'm going to read 7 sentences. When we get to the last Harambe, we're going to hold it 7 times, okay? I'm going to ask Chosen to walk us through that last Harambe, where we hold it 7 times. She's going to walk us through it in Kiswahili. She's going to say Ja, Le, Tu, and we're going to start and we hold the last Harambe, okay? We're going to see who can hold it the longest. I think yesterday, Sister Wahida held it the longest. Okay? All right. The libation ceremony is done in praise and honor of the collective commitment to the work and struggle of the ancestors. It is both instructive and inspirational, as well as mandatory within the framework of our value system. For it is they, forefathers and foremothers, who through their love, labor, and struggle laid the foundation for us, pushed our lives and history forward, and gave us basic principles by which we could live our lives in strength, dignity, brotherhood, and sisterhood. Pouring libation and making a libation statement is both an honorific assertion and a call to carry on the struggle and work the ancestors began. It is more clearly defined as a recognition and respect of the contributions of those before us, our history, and the models it offers us to emulate. The libation statement. Our fathers and mothers came here, lived, loved, struggled, and built here. At this place, their love and labor rose like the sun and gave so much in return. On the same soil, we sow our seeds and build and move in unity and strength. Here too, we will continue their struggle for liberation and a high level of life. May our eyes be the eagle, our strength be the elephant, and the boldness of our life be like the lion. And may we remember and honor our ancestors and the legacy they left for as long as the sun shines and the waters flow. Go ahead, Autumn. We say, Harambe, for our people everywhere then, for Shaka and Nzinga and all the others known and unknown who defended our ancestral land, history, and humanity from alien invaders. Go ahead, Autumn. We say Harambe. Harambe. For our children and the fuller and freer lives they will live because we struggle. We say Harambe. Harambe. For Garvey, Muhammad, Malcolm, King, and Fannie Lou, Sojourner, Bethune, and Nat Turner, and all the others who defend and dare to define and develop our interests as a people. Go ahead, Autumn. We say Harambe. For our children and the fuller and freer lives they will live because we struggle. We say Harambe. For Qaeda and the Nguza Saba, the new system of views and values which gives identity, purpose, and direction to our lives. Go ahead, Autumn. We say Harambe. You ready, children? Turn this way, face the community. Now remember, this is the last one. This is the 7th one. After I read this, Chosen is going to greet you, walk you through this, and Key Swahili. She's going to say Ja, Le, Tu, and then we're going to go Harambe, 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 and we get to the last one, we hold it. We good? Asante Sana. And for the continuing struggle through which we will inevitably rescue and reconstruct our history and humanity in our own image and according to our own needs. Go ahead, Autumn. Ready? Walk them through it. Harambe, 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 Harambe. Thank you, Autumn.
Good job. Yay.
Okay. All right, really fast. Can we stand one more time? Okay. Can we acknowledge the pastor of this amazing church? Pastor Lassiter just walked in. Who wanted to be here, but we know they're out there doing that work, putting in that work, right? Yeah. And they're here spiritually. So I want you to choose someone and connect their energy to our energy so we can bring that energy back into this room. Take a few seconds to do that. All right, Asante Sana. Chosen, come up. Take the Kumbe Chai Moja cup. Just a little bit of water, just dip, okay? Now I want you to call on those ancestors who you know, footsteps we follow and shoulders we stand on. Those ancestors who you know struggled, who put in work so that we could be here, right? Sometimes we get caught up in our own self. I'm so great, I have so many degrees, right? I work in this place, I've done this, I've done that. Losing the fact that everything we do is communal. Meaning someone came before you, laid the foundation for you to be able to do what you do and to be here. We have to call their names, right? And make sure that we send them their proper respect. So just call out names of individuals. I'm going to call out my mother, Dashia Marie Small. We say Ashe. Ashe. Call names. Keep calling names. Ashe. Ashe. Reverend Rowe. Ashe. Mrs. Rowe. Ashe. Keep calling names. Miss Jackie. We say Ashe. Ashe. Dr. Frank Napier. We say Ashe. Keep calling names. Divine Smallwood. We say Ashe. Keep calling names. We say Ashe. We say Ashe. Dr. Ben. We say Ashe. Dr. Clark. We say Ashe. Kamau Kalfani. We say Ashe. Keep calling names, family. Keep calling names. Ashe. Ashe. Call those names. Najee Seabrooks. We say Ashe. Imam Pasha. We say Ashe. Call the names. Keep calling. Any more? Ashe. Miss Van Rensselaer, we say Ashe. Any more? Any more? And to all those whose names are not called, but we know because they struggled and they gave up the most important thing you can give up in life, their service, but then their life, we say Ashe. Ashe. We say Ashe. Ashe. We say Ashe-o. Ashe-o. And Ashe just simply means it is. What we just share with each other, what we just said, is a fact, right? So you may be seated. Asante Sana for that. is the Mkika mat. Can everybody say Mkika? Oh, that's it? Can we say Mkika? Thank you, Asante Sana. And on top of the Mkika mat is, and as we know, for each one of these candles, they represent a day, right? So the first candle is what? Stop playing, family. I know y'all just tested me. Emoji, which is what color? Black. The second day of Kwanzaa is what? Kujichagulia, which is what color? Red. Then we alternate to the next day, which is the green candle. What's that called? Ojima, right? Which means what? Exactly. Then we rotate to the next candle, which is a red candle, and that's what? Ujamaa, and that means what? Cooperative economics. Thank you. Then we rotate to the next day, which is the green candle on the other side. That means what? What day is that? Purpose. Then we rotate to the next candle, which is what? Which means what? Then we rotate to the next day, which is what? Which is the final day of Kwanzaa, right? Yep. No, it's not. That's the final day of the 7 days that we celebrate. But Kwanzaa is what? 365. 365, because it's not a replacement of Christmas. We know that by now, right? Yeah. All right. So, we have our Mshumasabas, we have our Kanara, we have our Mankika mat, and guess what? We have all this in place, and now we have an opportunity to see what we need to do to make sure we can eat. So we have what we call mosaicos, right? And mosaicos are fruit and vegetables. So we did what? We collectively, the family, our children, the adults, under the leadership of the elders, we had the harvest come in. And because the harvest came in, we can now greet ourselves, eat with ourselves, buy from us, produce by us, and this is the end result. The mosaicos, right? And now that we can eat, we got our mosaicos in, guess what? Our children have been so amazing that we acknowledge who they are. And they're sometimes called the Mahindi, but also the Vibanza. However many of the Vibans you have on the children you have in your house is how many of these ears of corn you have on your table. So if you have 10 children, and we know this, right? All 10 of our children go on to school. And all 10 of our children are in the field working. And all 10 of our children are at the meetings we have every Sunday in our house. And all 10 of our children are studying together, right? Because all 10 of our children represent our legacy. So however many Babanza you have, however many children you have, that's how many Babans you have on the table. Okay? So we call our children Watutu. Say Watutus. And because our children have done such an amazing job, 365 of the year, by the time they get to this time, we're not going to get them that $3,000 iPhone that's better than ours. You know what we're going to give them? We're going to give them some cultural books. And they're going to thank us and be happy with it. And we're going to bring them to Kwanzaa, right? And we're going to make sure that they're in a church that represents not only God, but their culture and history. So we're going to make sure they're at Calvary with us, right? So therefore, the books are cultural gifts. Okay? And with these cultural gifts, it allows them to not only learn their culture, their history, and their legacy, but guess what? They can now move forward in everything that we do. So we say we thank you for the Zawadis. Can we say Zawadis? Zawadis. Exactly. Now, with all that being said, everything that we think about as pertains to us represents our culture, our history, our family, and our community. The three main phases of Kwanzaa that Dr. Malana Karenga shares and expresses to us in his text and in his work is that we are a people who celebrate family, culture, and community, right? And we do that by recognizing that we have a powerful flag. That is what colors? Red, black, and green. The red stands for what? Blood. Y'all too low. The red stands for what? Blood. The green stands for what? The black stands for what? People. Go back to that green. The green stands for what? Because you know, sometimes we talk about the green, we talk about the land, but we leave out the money, right? And if we think about it, right till this day on the continent of Africa, every resource you can think of is there. But everybody in Africa has taken out and still taking out all the resources. Dr. Clark Ashe said, everybody wants to go into Africa and claim Africa and take everything out, but do not what? Pay us for it. To this day, that's still true. And if we don't believe it, how we get here? They took us out. and spread us all over the world. And Kwanzaa is celebrated all over the world, not just here in the United States of America, okay? So with all that said, that's what's here on the table. This is how we celebrate. We move Kwanzaa in a place where, once again, let's be clear, it's not a replacement of Christmas, but it's a cultural celebration that's Pan-African in its existence, okay?
Now what we do is we light all the previous day's principles, and then we get to the black, where we take the black candle, which represents black people, black power, and we light the very last candle, which Art was going to do. Yes, it's the Imani. Can you see it? See it? All right.
Day 7, January 1st.
Oh, they can't hit you back there, bro.
Day 7, January 1st. Principle Imani. Faith. To believe with all our hearts in our parents, our people, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle.
Right. Like it. Say it loud. Scream it.
Asante Sana.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmony of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun, our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Going to ask our wonderful Queen to come forward and give us part of her, of who she is, the vision she is, the talent that she shows all the time, the skill, the love that she expresses in all her writings, to come forward and give us the peace.
Brown girl, you don't have to cry no more. No. Today, the eyes looking at you will judge you for the color of your heart, no matter the color of the eyes. Your grandmother and her grandmother knew nothing of the skin-free joys of your life. Every single walking step for them tested their spirit. They prayed that the precious Lord would take their hand, lead them on, help them stand. They were tired. They were weak sometimes, true, but they persevered. Brown girl, for you, Yes, you're still a babe now, not far removed from the suckle of your mother, but light years from the mulatto, nappy, second-class citizen labels of your foremother. Now you are a girl, free to play, to dream, to sing, to inspire, to be whomever you decide. Brown girl, you don't have to cry no more, no. Leave your anger alone. Leave your eyes clear to see the fights through your generation. We have left much work for you to do. Leave your mind clear to find ways that we did not know needed changing. Leave your hearts free to soar beyond the stratosphere and discover worlds that we dared not dream about. Brown girl, you don't have to cry no more. No. Celebrate your hair, your hips, your waist, your backside. Hold your head up high and let your smile glisten. Brown girl, you don't have to cry no more. No.
Let me say good afternoon to everyone. I really don't need to introduce this gentleman who's going to come before you. He is known. He has done his work in the community, in the church, and he's been doing what he does for a number of years. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to introduce to you someone who is a mentee of mine, someone with whom I have worked in various ways, someone who has become my pastor. Amen. The Reverend Dr. Randall Moses Lassiter. Today's principle is what? Imani. And it means what? Faith. Pastor Lassiter is going to bring us a message about and on faith. Pastor? He's here.
I gotta come on my shit.
Right. I taught you better.
I forgot, I told we got company. I can't be acting up when y'all company here. But those who visit Calvary know that I like to have fun. I like to laugh. I'm serious about the call of my life. I'm serious about Jesus Christ. But I just think life is kind of too short, and some of us just take ourselves just far too serious. And come on, why don't you just smile for a minute, all right? That was so deep, amen, too deep. Listen, my task is simple on this day. First, let me do this. We are honored, number one, that you are here. Calvary for 145 years has been a landmark in this community and has always done its part to stay connected to the community. In fact, being here today represents the legacy of this historical church and the work that you're doing. So we want to celebrate all of you. There's so many of you who are here who, as Deacon Jeanette Lyde has mentioned, the work that I'm doing, but it started because I was watching many of you. Many of you, we had the opportunity to watch you do the work that you are doing that allow my grammar school schoolmate, Raheem Smallwood, and I to do what we're doing now. Sister Wahida Muhammad, Sister Janet McDaniels, all of you, Linda G. Smith, Jeanette Lyde, all of you in this room, the great Skip Van Rensselaer, who impacted for the fraternity that I wanted to be a part of. All of you, how you've impacted and started the work that we're just the baton being passed on. And we kind of find ourselves right now, Raheem, we find ourselves trying to find the people who we're mentoring now so we can pass it on to do some other kinds of things that God has called us to do. And then also we want to welcome you all here. But I want to give a special welcome. She doesn't need a welcome, but I want to, in her status and what she's called. Did I see KC here?
Yes, I'm here.
He stepped out, and want to appreciate KC.
Yes.
Call on KC for everything. I
Yes.
just appreciate him so much. He's our connection to the trauma that's connected in our community, so we thank God for him. But I want to take a minute before I just take about 7 minutes to talk about the principle of Imani and faith. But before I do that, you did it again, but let's do it one more time for I just simply call her the Queen. Would you just give the Queen some love for what she does, the role that she plays here? The problem, now y'all are celebrating her, but I have a problem with her. Because every time she takes on initiative, somehow I got to do some work. I don't understand this. I don't understand it. I always got to do some work, whatever it is that she's doing. But I'm a big supporter of her and the work that she's doing all across the state of New Jersey. Did you know she's on the cover of the New Jersey Teachers Magazine? Amen. She's doing some great stuff. God is using her in a mighty way. Thank God for she. Brother Raheem has already set us up to really give us this paramount piece of this last leg, but really it's a commencement, the 7th, but it's really the work begins. Because you cannot do the 6 principles. The 6 principles don't have the meaning without this last meaning of faith. That's right. Because we have to have the faith to carry out those other 6 principles that are foundational for our life. And so I want to just give you 3 things that I think that embarks on the legacy and the history of our great people and our ancestors who have paved the way for us, and even the founder of this thing that is great to us called Kwanzaa, that the founder had to have you and I in mind when he put these principles in place. He had to have you and I in mind that we would create a legacy and a community among ourselves. And since I have your attention for a little while, maybe we need to go back and maybe we need some more time with each other in gatherings like this, because somehow, some way, it seems like we have lost our connection. We've lost our family. We lost what it is and the principles of what Kwanzaa stands for in terms of the connectivity that we need for one another. It seems that we have gotten numb to the fact that you are my brother, you are my sister. We've gotten numb to the fact that we are our brother's keeper. Somehow we've gotten numb to the fact, to the principle of Imani and what it stands for, that we would have faith, not faith in faith, but faith in you, faith in our children, faith in our elders, faith in our common ground, that we would change and transform our community. But what has happened is that somehow we've seen to have taken on the mantra of this world where everybody seems to be mean-spirited. Everybody seems to have an opinion. You can't post anything on social media without somebody who don't even know you saying something negative to you that they don't even know you. This is not a principle of Kwanzaa. This is not, where did we ease in that we would buy into an American culture that is not the culture of this body that God has called for us to be, that we are linked together, that we are tied together, that we are our brother's keeper, that we look out for one another. It seems as though that we have forgotten that. It seems as though, but I'm reminded when we have gatherings like this that it is not so, and that we are still connected, and that we still love one another, and that we still look out for one another, and we still support one another. This notion of tearing each other down and talking about one another and coming after one another, it cannot be associated with the principles of Kwanzaa. We have forgotten perhaps who we really are. We are a people who stick together. We are a people prideful of our heritage and where we've come from. We are a people who push forward and against all odds. We are a people that no matter what is stacked up against them, and Lord knows there have been things stacked up against us as a people, but we are still standing. We are still rising. We are still dominating this here United States and this entire world. But I want to leave you with something. I want to leave you with something. In 2024 and beyond, I believe there's three things that will cement the principle of Imani, the principle of faith. We talk about faith, and if you ask anyone in the church, because we've been preached to, we've had messages, we've had all sorts of sermons and sermon series on faith that you can talk to anybody. You hear it all the time. Yo, keep the faith. Yo, you gotta have faith. Yo, if you ask anybody in the room what is faith, they're probably gonna quote Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. But the real deal is, no, I didn't ask you to quote that. What is it? What is it? What does it look like? Do me a favor. I'm this kind of talk back kind of thing to me. Do me a favor. Look at somebody and say, this is what faith looks like. Let them see you. Let them see you. Let them see you real close. Because the real deal, if they really knew your story, if they really knew what you came through, and before you got any degree, before you came through the situation, before anybody recognized you in the community, do me a favor one more time. Just look at somebody and say, this is what faith looks like. You don't know what it was for me. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know how hard it was. You have no idea. You see me sitting here, but you have no idea what it looks like. So I want to leave you with three things that I believe that will cement these principles in our lives. And I believe that it's no accident that we're collecting here, celebrating Kwanzaa here at Calvary. It's a reminder for me. It's a reminder for me to continue to be connected to our culture, connected to who we are, that we should not forget where we came from, no matter how we raise up, where we get elected, whatever position, whatever title. It doesn't matter, because sometimes we get amnesia. And maybe this is a reminder for me. Maybe it's a reminder for this church. Maybe it's a reminder to you. Maybe it's a reminder for the collective whole. Maybe it's a reminder for the 365 churches that is in this little 6 square miles. Maybe it's a reminder that we need to collectively come together. Wouldn't it be wonderful that if we had all the churches celebrating Kwanzaa in one place? Wouldn't it be amazing? Wouldn't it be amazing that we could all come together collectively? Whether you voted for him or her or not, but we all could collectively, whether you agree with their politics or not, that we could all collectively come together and stand together. I want to give you these three things and I'll get right out of your way. I believe that to really cement this principle of Imani in this year and going forward and for our children's children, I believe we're going to need three things. I believe we're going to need to be obedient. Somebody say obedient. You heard Brother Smallwood lay out to us the principles and the heart foundations and the principles that have come from the sweat and blood of our ancestors. And there are some principles, but they mean nothing if we're not obedient to the principles for which they have been laid out. They would never come into fruition. It would never happen. It would never happen. We would never get to the place if we don't carry out. And so obedient really means for me to take those principles and make them a part of my life. We're going to need to be obedient. We're going to need to be obedient to the things of God. Somehow we're our own people these days. Somehow we have decided that we don't need God anymore. We have decided that I don't need to answer to anybody other than myself. Going forward, to carry out this principle, we're going to need to be obedient to someone greater than ourselves. Secondly, if we're going to move, because when you look at the principles of Kwanzaa, when you look at the principles, they all take you somewhere. And with every principle, whether it's the whole part of collective economics or unity or whatever purpose, they all take you somewhere. They take you somewhere. So here's the second word. You got to have a spirit of expectation this year. I get asked to go into schools, I get asked to go into colleges, and I'm finding out that young people don't dream no more. They don't dream. They're so busy in their devices looking at somebody else's life that they forget that they can have a life. And it's even worse. Some of us who are older and where we are and still in our best strides, in our 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, still got great things going on. We don't even seem to have any more expectations any longer. But not just expectations from myself that come from me, but the expectations that come from the principles of Kwanzaa. They lead to something. If I would follow those principles, my life has to get better. If I follow those principles, the disarray and the disconnect from my family has to get better. If I follow those principles of Kwanzaa, collectively the legacy of my family would stay intact. There's got to be the expectation of the principles of Kwanzaa connected to my life. So one, you got to be obedient. Two, you got to have some expectation. What are your expectations for Kwanzaa after we leave here today? Is this it? We have the celebration and that's the end of it? Is there a plan for us to collectively figure out how to start a business in this place? Is there a plan for us to really find out what is our purpose? What is your purpose? What is it that God is calling you to do? What is the purpose? What is the purpose? There's got to be a connection. What is the expectation that, not from you, but the expectation, I'll help you out a little bit. There's plenty of expectation found in the scriptures that can take you and I to doing all the things that God called you to do. Because God created you and I and gave you and I an expectation. He says somewhere in the book of Jeremiah, he says, before I placed you in your mother's womb, I had an expectation for you. He said, before I placed you, before your granddaddy went out with your grandmother, I had a plan for you. He says that it is a plan of success and not failure. Jeremiah 29:11. He says it's a plan of success and not failure. In other words, God got an expectation. I just want to hear us as a people celebrating the expectations that God has placed on our life. Not tearing each other down, but begin to raise each other up and talk about each other, pushing each other, celebrating each other. I publicly, let me just do this now, because all throughout my working career, you always push me forward. And we have to be able to push each other forward to where it is. We got to do some work. We got to be obedient. Second, there's our expectation. Expectation is the new book that God's placed inside of you. Expectation is the new business that God placed in. Expectation is the thing, is the community center that we lack in our community that maybe collectively in this room we can start. That's Imani. Imani is having the faith to believe something that doesn't exist yet. What are your expectations that you're believing that can happen even though it hasn't come yet? Lastly, my final word, 3 words for you this year. Obedience, expectations, and distractions. You know what I'm doing? I'm listening to the music, blocking you out, so I'm not distracted by you, so that I can hear what they're playing. Let me try that again. I'm blocking you out because what they're playing is saying something. That's right. And here's what I want you to do. We're so distracted that we spend all our time like this. Earpods in our ear all the time. In 2024 and beyond, to carry out these principles, you can no longer be. And some of the things that are coming in our way are distractions from keeping you and I off of the purpose, the economic pieces of community that we need to build up. They're blocking us from doing the thing. What is distracting you from fulfilling the thing that God has called you to do? Distractions come and take you off of the things that you're called to do. I'm getting ready to sit down, but I remember the movie Sister Act, and I remember the movie Sister Act, the first one. I think it's the first one. I think it's Lauryn Hill. When she began to sing, I'm not going to sing Skip. When we began to sing that song, she said, if you want to be somebody.
Right.
How go? If you want to what? Go ahead and sing it. You got a good voice. Go ahead and sing it. I knew you was going to do that. And here's the deal. Here's the deal. Simply, what is distracting us as a collective people? Is it the Democrats? Is it the Republicans? I beg to differ. Because we have survived with the craziest Republicans in presidential office down through the years. Come on, somebody gonna tell me, come on, we survived the Reagan years. Come on, you ain't gonna tell me, come on, you ain't gonna help me out here. He cut my aid when I was in college. But I still graduated. Come on, say it. So it don't matter who's in the White House, whether it's a D or a R. So don't get distracted by the politics. Don't get distracted by the things that they only come to get you distracted off of the main thing. And Kwanzaa has its own principles to keep us focused on the main thing. That is the principles of faith. Faith is the principle. Faith is the principle that unlocks the key for anything that you want to do. And it's not faith in faith, but I believe that the founder, who God gave him that imagination of creating Kwanzaa, gave him that for a purpose, for a people, and gave it for us to move in it in the way God has intended for Kwanzaa to move. And if we can hold on to our faith, we can accomplish all that God has called us to accomplish. There was a woman, a stewardess actually, leading a flight of people from the Bahamas. It was a short flight from the Bahamas back into Florida. And when they were getting on the plane, and people had just taken their seats, she noticed that there was a black snake in the plane, a big black snake. She got on the phone, talked to the captain, said, "Captain, we got a problem. You're not gonna be able to move this plane. There's a black snake in the corner of the plane." The captain says, "Don't worry about it." She said, "What?" He said, "Don't worry about it." He said, "Stay on the line. Keep talking to me. The situation is under control." He began to get to the runway, and as he got to the runway, the snake, the passengers hadn't seen it yet. She was eyeing it though. The snake slithered out a little bit further, and she panically again got on the phone and said, "Captain, listen." I could tell she was a sister because she went like this. "Yo." She said, "Listen, the snake done slivered out a little bit. The passengers don't see it yet, but it's slivering. It's starting to move." The captain said, "Listen, stay on the line. Keep talking to me. The situation is under control." They got off the runway into the air. When they got into the air, the snake now kind of went back and then came into the middle aisle. And when it came into the middle aisle, he was a big black snake. At this point, people saw the snake. And then she said, "Listen, the people are starting to see the snake." He said, "Listen, stay on the line. Keep talking to me. The situation is under control." Look at somebody say, "Situation under control." It's under control. The snake now comes out and the people are freaking out. They all see it. She is screaming, look, the snake is on the line." And he says, "Listen, calm down. I told you, stay on the line. Keep talking to me. The situation is under control." He got up, he kept flying up high. Come on, anybody know where I'm going with this? He kept flying up high, and when he got to the proper altitude, the snake died on the spot. The stewardess was amazed. And what happened is, the lesson is that you're going to have Imani. You're going to have faith in some stuff that you don't know. You're going to have to rely on some people that you don't think got the answer. You're going to have to rely on something, because faith faith is the things you don't see. She didn't know that that thing was going to stop. But all she knew, if you can stay on the line and keep talking to my master, keep talking to him, don't get disconnected, don't get distracted, and keep the expectation of what God has for you. And all I can say to you, no matter what your situation is, what your problem is, everything is going to be all right. God got everything under control. We as a people are going to emerge. We are people are on the come up. 2024 is going to be perhaps our best year. Count on us. Call on us again to be able to do something again. We want to do something. Maybe we can think bigger than just this kind of event. Maybe we can do something bigger. Maybe there's something stronger, because I believe that if we keep talking to him, everything's going to be all right. The situation.
So I want to thank everyone who came out this week for the Kwanzaa celebration. For whether you came out for the full 7 days, if you came out for just 1 or 2 days, we want to thank you. And when I say we, I'm talking about Word Seed Inc. We are a Patterson-based literary arts organization, and our goal is to be servants in the community. We use our art in literary arts, in poetry, in storytelling, to do community work. And that's what this 7-day Kwanzaa celebration was. To all our partners this week, we want to thank you. All those who have assembled today, we want to thank you. We appreciate you. Word Seed Inc. exists for the community, not just to showcase literary arts talent, but to actually put together community events like this. Each month, we put together open mics. Yearly, we do the Patterson Poetry Festival, opportunities to serve our community, and that's what art should be.
We thank you for the food that has been provided. We know that it has come from the bounty of your land. We pray to Heavenly Father that it will nourish our bodies and that would be a blessing unto us. We thank you for all those who contributed in bringing the food to nourish us. We thank you, dear Heavenly Father, for all that you have done. In thy Son's holy name we pray. Amen.
Can we have a fork? She dropped her fork. Hey, honey. Huh? We have a new one for you. Give me that one. Hi, girls.
Hi. Hi.
Hello. Hello. What's your name? What's your name? Oh, yes, I know that. I know that name. I remember you. Oh, I'm not going to ask all your names because I will get it wrong. And the next time you see me, you'll expect me to know it. I just want to say thank you.
No, they're all A's.
All A's?
Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, all A's.
Okay, you say it. Tell me all the names. Ariana. Autumn.
Jennifer. Araya. And Kate.
Jennifer is not an A, you know that.
Yes.
Okay.
She meant the three sisters.
Okay. It's so nice that you're here. Thank you for being here. Did you enjoy Kwanzaa this week?
Use your voice, not your head.
Yes. Yes. How about you? Did you enjoy Kwanzaa this week? Did you enjoy Kwanzaa this week? I know I'm talking to you with food in your mouth. Did you enjoy it? Did you?
Yes.
How about you?
Yes.
I'm so glad. And what about you all? Yes? Well, you know what? My favorite thing about you is your smile. She said, you have such a stern face, and then you said, yes. That smile turned on and made me happy. We're having a good time this week. I'm glad you're here.
Mama, can you help me?
Thank you.
Can I help you?
What's her name? What's the lady's name? Ask her, what's her name?
What's my name?
She has a beautiful name. You'll never forget it.
Queen, yes ma'am. There you are.
What's her name now?
Queen.
All right. Kate, what's her name?
Yes ma'am, I can help
what's
you.
What's her name?
Queen.
How's it going?
Okay, how are you?
Well, thank you. Did you enjoy Kwanzaa this week?
She was someplace else.
Yeah? Don't forget to get a book from me, okay? That's really important, and I have a bookmark for you too, okay? You too, don't, ooh, I have some little board books that I forgot to bring. They look just like you, beautiful like you. You gonna get a book from me today? Yes? I'm glad.
You don't even need me. You don't need me.
Peace family, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Did you enjoy yourself this week?
Yes, I did. It was very
I'm so glad. Oh look, we got another baby laying across the lap. That's the literal lap baby. Look at all these beautiful babies. I'm so pleased. You too,
bring the
you're
children,
gorgeous.
and that's what they
You're
did.
smart too, aren't you? Yeah, I can tell. Your eyes, you know, when a person is really smart, they can speak with their eyes. And your eyes are stunning. Yeah.
Don't forget the smile on her face. Beautiful.
You know, I have, sometimes people tell us women we have to smile, right? But you get to have your whole range of emotion.
Yes.
You get to have your whole range. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for still so much support.
Yes.
And you were here a lot of days. How was it for you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed myself.
Yeah?
Yeah, I had a good time. I miss the day with the vendors.
Ujamaa.
Yeah. That's there.
6 out of 7. That's a high score.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I really did.
Very good. What you gonna do for me? This? You know what? Quan Hargrove, you are so critical to this whole process. Quan Hargrove, do you know about this? In 2013, I don't even know how we met. 2013, I started coming here from Seattle like every 6 weeks. And Quan Hargrove and KK McDaniel and I, the three of us, would just find programming to do. We did something called Critical Conversations, and we kept doing programs. And the programs were every 6 weeks because that was my work breaks. I could take vacations and come every 6 weeks to New Jersey to give back to this community. So Quan Hargrove had all of the networking already ready already. So one day, Quan said, "What do you want to do next?" And I said, "Let's do Kwanzaa." Then KK says, "Well, which day do you want to do?" And I said, "Well, let's just do all of them." He said, "We can't do that." And I'm like, no, we can. Because this whole community is going to get involved. And if it wasn't for Quan, I don't know if I would have been able to convince KK to do it. And so,
He opened the gates for you.
I know, Quan is amazing. I continue to turn to you all the time. So this is really in part your vision as well. So how'd it go this week?
It went beautifully. I appreciate you. It went beautifully, brother. I appreciate you. Forever and always. You're a big sister to me. I love you, if I never told you before. And I appreciate everything that you do for us, our people, and our community. Love always.
How do we do this week? Thank you. I love you more. How did we do this week?
Did fantastic. I was able to attend the one yesterday at Rosa Parks High School, and again, as you can see, I'm here today, and it was good. I always make it my business every year to come out, and celebrate Kwanzaa because it's a community event. It's about the people. It's about me. It's about us. It's about the community, and that's what I'm about. So you did very well. Always your presentation, you're very serious about your craft and what you do when it comes down to Kwanzaa and poetry and things of that nature. So I'm always supportive. You always have me in your corner.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Come and see. These are the books that we'll be giving to our children. Hair Love is now on the.
Really love this.
It's on the banned book list, so we really want to make sure they get that one. And here is Before She Was Harriet. What I love about these books, you see many of them have this crest.
Yes.
These are award-winning books. Crest all over them. There's Dr. King over here. Look, Kwame Alexander. This must be my favorite one. This one, Heart and Soul by Kadir Nelson. It's the story of America and African Americans. If you flip open this book,
Excellent. Oh, look at this.
the illustration And I think it's important for our children to see themselves in the books, see their families in the books. For a long time, Black history was written by white Americans. And we know that when we have Black history written by the people who are centered in that history, that it changes everything. It changes the focus about what is real and what is not. So this is the real history. Look at all these beautiful Black men.
Beautiful.
And this story is not told enough. Here's about Harlem.
In our schools, we don't get this history.
Right. Very often you see illustrations of Black people in rags in white history books, but these are fine people. Yes. Look at him.
That's Louis Armstrong.
That's right. And so many of our children, and you were alive while Armstrong was alive.
Yes.
Some of our children who are being born now, they won't know him if we don't teach them.
They won't.
So lest we forget, they need these books.
They need these books. They need these books because they need to know our history.
My name is Billy Bongo, and I've been playing this drum, the djembe, from West Africa since I was 9 years old. I'm 70 years old now, so I think I've been playing the drum longer than many people have been alive. The djembe orchestra consists of drums made out of wood. They're strung up with rope. They have goat skins on them. So we have this thing called shank-a-shanks. And the djembe orchestra usually consists of 1, 2, 3 djembes, 3, 4 drums like this. The sangba, the kenkere, and the junjun. Most of the music that we played today was from Guinea, West Africa. This is Sylvie.
Etep and our Sagres are here. We are experiencing our Kwanzaa celebration. I am Sylvia, also known as Matenge Tumaharuti Aying. I bring you greetings from Osera Set. Raum Nefer Amen is my head of our society. And I am playing also the djembe drum, which is the talking drum. It is known throughout Yoruba, Kemet, the Canaanites, the Indus Kush. We all experience the Oshuns. This is the talking drum that was shared by many communities for greetings, dancing, festivals, even death ceremonies. The talking drum brought us together. It said, come together, come together. We are here to celebrate who we are as a people.
Hello, my name is Mark Turner. I'm here today on the last day of Kwanzaa, which is Imani, here in Paterson, New Jersey. And we're here to play and support the event by offering the drums, which is the djembe ensemble. This is the djembe ensemble. I'm joined by Mr. Billy Bongo, the master drummer, Sister Sylvia from Kemet, and myself. We're playing the djembe ensemble. The djembe ensemble consists of the djembe, which is the lead drummer, the kinkine, and the somba, and another big mother drum, which is the junjun. All right, these drums are from West Africa and some interior parts of Africa, most Senegal, Ghana, where else were they? Guinea, yes. Ivory Coast. Mali. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
Worseed Inc. Is a literary arts organization, so naturally we want to gift books to our children. These are culturally relevant books. Hair Love is now on the banned book list, because if you want to know a book that's going to be on the banned book list, it's going to be a book that teaches about Black pride. That's going to be the first thing to be banned. But we know from all the speakers this week that we are beautiful Black people, strong Black people, prideful Black people, and we're going to continue to teach them for as long as we have breath in our lungs to give them books. When you all get finished with these books, it goes into your library. If you don't have a library at your home, that's what this means. A library in your home means a place that you keep your books. It can be one shelf, it can be the top of your dresser, it can be in a stack on the floor on the side of your bed. That's your library. So when you get done with these, we want you to add them to your library, and then I want you to come and find me and get some more. Okay, your family can show you how to find me. And there's little free libraries all over the city of Patterson. You can go to the little free libraries and get free books there as well. Okay, Ashe? All right.
What we're about to do, we need you to stand up. We're going to close out with what we call our farewell statement.
Give those to people.
And we've asked our elder, our Nana, our Queen Mother, our Jegna, and Jegna's word for Master Teacher, to read the farewell statement. And then after Sister Wahida finished reading the farewell statement, we're going to once again go for 7 Harambe's. We're not going to hold the last, we're just going to do 7 Harambe's and close out, unless Queen has something else that she needs to say on behalf of Word Seed and etc. Because it's all, in all fairness, and I want to do this. This is not, and I know it's been said a few times, I just want us to once again thank Sister Queen for taking on the responsibility, asking the elders in the community for permission, which she did, and making this happen along with her team and along with all the other partners that made this happen. Could we please do that from our heart to Sister Queen? Right? And can we also, because you didn't see this, but we saw this, can we also thank our brother KC for also making sure that all this happens, and once again, all the community partners. Okay? So I'm going to pass this over to Queen Mother. We have to stand up, please, if you're not standing. If you can stand, please stand. No, it should be able to stand.
God's name, the farewell statement.
Let's go with the black fist. Black fist. Go black fist.
Strive for discipline, dedication, and achievement in all you do. Dare struggle and sacrifice, and gain the strength that comes from this. Build where you are, and dare leave a legacy that will last as long as the sun shines and the water flows. Practice daily. Umoja, Kugaja, Alir, Jama, Ujama, Nia, Kuumba, and Imani. And may the wisdom of the ancestors always walk with us. May the year ends meet us laughing and stronger. May our children honor us by following our example in love and struggle. And at the end of this year, may we sit again together in a larger number with greater achievement and closer to liberation and a higher level of human life.
Yes.
Pull down. Harambe!
Harambe! Harambe! Harambe! Harambe! Harambe! Harambe!
All right.
Thank you, Father.
I want to thank my father, William Smallwood Sr. I opened up asking him for permission to start this program, this Imani, for Kwanzaa, and I'm closing out by also asking him and thanking him for allowing myself, Sister Talina Queen, by his example, by his struggles through this history here in this country called America, but more importantly, from him using his wisdom and knowledge and understanding of raising myself, my brothers and sisters, and being an integral part in this community. So I want to say thank you, Dad.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, I love you, and I honor you for giving us the strength and the courage to carry out our purpose here on this planet by, number one, leading by example and always holding us to task.
Thank you.
Let him speak.
When you came in, I said, "Oh, nice to meet you, and thank you for your legacy." And I say that to you again. Thank you for your legacy. Your seed is impactful in this community, and we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Let him speak.
They want you to say something, Dad.
I thank my son for each and every day that he doing a good job, and that's what I went and sent him to school for, to continue on, to move on with his life. And I appreciate him for everything he do for me and the rest of his sisters and brothers every day. We can't ask for no more.
Asante Sana. Asante Sana, my sisters are here, niece and nephews, cousins, and as my dad stated, wherever we go, whatever we do it as a family, and we do it on behalf of what our mother, Bashir Marie Smallwood, taught us, and that is the highest level of life is to serve. Trust God, love family, and get involved in your community. Remember, that's what Kwanzaa is all about, but that's what we're also taught as a family. Asante Sana to everyone, especially my sister Talina Queen and all those who made it possible for Kwanzaa 2023 to happen. Asante Sana, thank you.
Asante Sana.
For this closing of 2023, during this Kwanzaa season, the Nguzo Saba, the 7 principles, from the first one, Umoja, all the way to Imani, I just want to thank the City of Patterson and all the organizations for coming together, put together and exemplify what Kwanzaa means by definition. I felt great. It was a warm feeling, comforting, didn't go broke, actually didn't spend any money. And I think that's what Kwanzaa is all about: family, friends, having fun, uniting, self-determination, the whole game. And I'm just happy to be a part of it. I want to thank everybody for coming out and supporting. Casey Melvin signing out. Peace.